Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Myself Ajnaz, I'm the sales head for Younglife, heading the GCC, and he is Mr. Arun. He's the CEO of Younglife. So basically today we are here to give a brief picture on VAT, which is the hot topic of UAE right now, UAE and Saudi especially. So Mr. Arun will be briefing us what VAT is and how it's going to affect the trade. So Mr. Arun.
Yeah, so VAT is a new concept in the UAE, in the GCC market. It is going to be implemented in all the 7 GCC states have agreed to implement it, but as a first phase, UAE and Saudi will be implementing it starting 1st January 2018. Value added tax is a simple value at each transaction level.
Okay.
So as the goods and services pass from one hand to another,
Okay.
based on the value add, there will be an incremental tax at each stage.
Okay. So what is it, as we are into this basic trading stuff, so what is the end customers has to do on this value added thing? So is the retailer going to affect with this VAT, or is the end customer? How is it?
So the business chain is never impacted at the cost level because of VAT.
Okay.
The VAT is borne only by the final consumer of the product.
Okay.
So at each stage, when the goods pass from a distributor to a wholesaler to a retailer, they collect and remit. They act as a tax agent, collecting and remitting the tax to the government.
Okay.
But the end impact of the tax will be borne only by the end consumer, who will not be able to claim any further input on those taxes.
Okay. So is there any registration number or something which is being provided by the government to the retailer or to us or anything?
Yes, the FTA, the Federal Tax Authority, have initiated registrations since October.
Okay.
They have a portal, an e-service, where any business can log in and register and get their tax registration number.
Okay. So it's being done everything through online.
Everything is online.
Okay. So when is it going to come into effect?
1st January.
1st January. So we'll be invoicing only to the VAT registered customer, or how is it going to affect the business from Jan 1st? So this is basically what which sales people who is much interested.
Yeah. See, registration is required once your taxable turnover exceeds 375,000
Okay.
for the previous year, or you expect the turnover to exceed 375,000 in the coming year.
Yeah,
That is what requires a registration.
Okay.
Some customers will fall into this requirement, some might not. Very few might not. Very few. But however, Younglife as a taxable entity will charge tax on its invoices to all the consumers, whether they are registered or not.
Okay. So for example, a firm named ABC, and who is not eligible, who is not entitled to register for the VAT. So his turnover is below 375. So we will be invoicing them with the VAT amount, right?
We will invoice them with the VAT amount, but unfortunately they will not be able to claim an input credit on that VAT figure.
Okay. So coming to the second point, second query which we need to inquire is like about the discount structures. Like if so, into trade we provide a discount of 2 to 5%. So how is it going to affect the payment?
The VAT is charged on the gross amount.
Okay.
Say for example, you have a 10,000 dirham invoice,
Okay.
which will have a 500 dirham VAT on it.
Okay.
So the net invoice will be 10,500. Now any discounts is eligible only on the gross amount, which is 10,000.
Okay.
So imagine a customer, for example, has 10% discount.
Yeah. Okay.
So you deduct the 10% discount only on the gross amount, which is 10,000.
Okay.
Which 10,000 minus 1,000 become 9,000.
Okay.
So the consumer will have to pay 9,000 plus the 500.
So what you meant to say is like if we invoice an amount of 10,000, there will be an additional VAT of 500, right? For 5%.
Yes.
So whereas the customer is eligible to deduct the 10% discount only on the gross amount, not including the tax.
No, there is no discount deduction.
So the pay, if again coming to the point, like 10,000 is the invoice amount, and there will be a discount of 10%, which comes to 9,000. Plus the customer has to pay the additional 500 on the 10,000.
10,000. Exactly.
So customer will pay us 9,500.
Perfect. Exactly.
Okay, thank you. So coming back to the discount structure again, if at all a customer comes directly to me and say I'm ready to take the goods for cash, and he's ready to take the goods directly from my godown itself. So will we charge any VAT on that?
Yes, VAT is irrespective of the customer. VAT will be charged on all Younglife invoices 5% for local deliveries.
Okay, so irrespective of anything, we will be charging a 5% tax.
For local deliveries, yes.
What if I have an export customer who is into Africa or some any other country which is other outside UAE?
Yes. Now, once our end customer is able to prove the export, export of goods and services outside UAE is 0% taxed. So there will not be any VAT on export of goods and services. But however, the end consumer will have to prove that the goods have been exported by giving us a copy of the export declaration, which will be a proof of us. Only if he is able to give that proof will his invoice be zero rated. However, at the time of invoicing, we will take a 5% deposit from the customer, which is refundable. Once he is able to prove the export.
Okay, so one more clarification, like how is the customer going to get this 5% which is being deposited with us? Is it being paid by the export hubs, or is it by the government, like in other countries, like in Thailand and all people, if I purchase something and if I can claim this at the airport or at the shipping company? So how is it going to affect in UAE?
No, in cases where Younglife takes a deposit, the refund will be done by Younglife itself.
Okay.
Yes.
So I didn't get you. On more clarity on that?
If we are raising an 0% invoice, after taking a deposit, because the deposit is with Younglife.
Yeah. Okay.
So if the customer comes back with a proof of the export declaration, we will be refunding the 5% to the customer. Yes.
Okay. Very well.
However, there is also a tourist scheme where the end consumer buys the product along with VAT in his invoice. In such cases, at the airport or the seaport, at the time of discharge, at the time of leaving UAE, he can claim those refunds from the department, which is the government. However, the government has laid down certain terms and conditions for such claiming such refunds.
Okay. Thank you. Coming to this promotion supports, which we usually provide in the trade. So if we provide a promotion support of 1,000 dirhams, so 1,000 dirham for flat distribution or into flat distribution something. So how is it going to affect the VAT?
Yes, for all flyer promotion supports that the end customer offers, they will have to raise a tax invoice on Younglife, clearly mentioning our TR number, the customer's TR number, the date, a brief description on what the service pertains to, and they will charge a VAT component on such charges, which we will in turn claim as an input in the Younglife books of accounts.
So is there any special format for that?
Yes, there is no format, but the details that have to appear in the invoice, in the tax invoice, is mentioned in the executive regulations.
So again, coming back to this promotion part, will there be any VAT on any promotion supports which we have provided until December 31st?
No, the VAT impact will start only from services that are given from 1st January 2018.
Well, and coming to the goods return, which is mostly into this trade, so how is it going to affect this VAT?
Goods that are returned from an invoice that is raised from a non-tax period will not have an input VAT component. You meant
any product which we have invoiced until December 31st, even if it is being returned after Jan 1st also, there won't be any VAT, right?
If you are able to prove that the goods pertain to an invoice before January 1st, there will not be a VAT component. However, for goods that are returned from an invoice that is raised at a tax period, we will raise a tax credit note to the customer for the value of the products that we take as returns.
So we have to ensure that there is no goods which is being taken back without raising this invoice.
Without raising a tax credit note from Younglife.
Okay, great. And one more thing, like we used to provide some FOCs, like if there is a promotion or something, we used to give some gift items. So will there be any VAT on that?
Yes, FOCs will be considered as a deemed supply, and there will be a VAT impact on products that are given free of cost. So basically, all products will have to have a price attached to it.
So Arun, again, what is the things, basic things which the customer has to ensure, and as a supplier we have to ensure?
The customers have to ensure that all the prices that they have displayed in their outlets are all inclusive of VAT.
Okay.
They also have to ensure that the LPO prices that they are giving us matches with the performer invoice that Younglife has raised.
Okay.
So the price, the LPO price of the customer and the performer price of Younglife will both have to match. There should not be any mismatch between these two figures.
Okay. And for any all the payments, there will be a VAT component, and the customer has to ensure that it adheres to with the FDA, right?
FDA, yes.
Yeah, fine. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Arun, for your wonderful time.
Thank you.
Thank you.